First, people doubted the Golden State Warriors.
I don't think you can win the championship beating good teams shooting jumpers.
For the 2015 Larry O'Brien NBA championship, the Golden State Warriors.
Then, once KD left, they said their dynasty was over.
And say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
I hate to say this right now, but to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
2022 Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP award goes to Stephen Curry.
Clearly remember some experts and talking heads putting up the...
But every time it looks like the end is near, they find a way to stave it off. But ever since this clip surfaced, things have been different. Now, we're about halfway through the season, and the Warriors have found themselves outside of the playoff picture. And with Chris Paul expected to miss time due to a fractured hand, and Draymond's role with the team long-term coming into question, the 2024 Warriors are running out of options.
As I told y'all, this team is cooked. Y'all thought I was crazy.
This team, this dynasty, has ran its course, and we just have to face the facts. They're right here in front of us.
Today, I'm going to figure out what's been ailing the 2023 Warriors and why the franchise could be over unless they focus on this one thing. Now, this isn't the first time the Warriors team has gotten out to a slow start over the past few years, but it is the first time it's happened with all three of the Warriors stars playing at full health. So what's been so different lately? Back when they won the championship in the 21-22 season, the Warriors averaged the third most threes per game in the league, and they defended threes at the third highest rate. But this year, everything's changed. Currently, the Warriors are 15th in the league in three-point percentage, which doesn't sound too bad until you factor in that they're chucking up the fourth most attempts from three per game as well. And on the defensive side of the arc, things are even worse. So what's causing all these problems around the perimeter for the Warriors? Well,
Paul off to Thompson. He will fire. No.
Easy. Wow. Thompson, another three. Rambis was actually saw him play in high school before he got to...
Unfortunately for the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson's three-point percentage has fallen off a cliff so far this season. In fact, at just under 38%, Klay's shooting percentage is the worst from three of his entire career. But even with his shooting percentage down, Klay is still letting it fly like it's Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals, shooting the ball from the furthest average distance of his career by a fairly considerable margin. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Klay Thompson. It brings me absolutely no joy to see him acknowledge that he's probably entered the last chapter of his career.
We had a conversation about just enjoying this last chapter of my career and how...
But the sad truth is Klay's right. He is in a different phase of his career now. And the more Klay pushes himself to play like a younger version of himself, the worse and worse he seems to play.
When you want to get back to that level so badly, you can kind of get in your own way.
Okay, enough about Klay for a minute. Let's move on to a lesser talked about star on the team who's been struggling mightily, Andrew Wiggins. When the Warriors won the title back in 2021, Andrew Wiggins looked like he had finally figured it all out. But unfortunately, he seems to have lost it again.
Eighth best in protecting the ball. Wiggins missing that three in 7 seconds. Wiggins did well on the catch there. Putting it up and out.
Talk some sense into this guy. Just right again. 3 times will not go on a try by Wiggins.
So far this season, Wiggins is shooting his lowest field goal percentage of his entire Warriors tenure, at 42% from the field. And from three, it's even bleaker. But perhaps even worse than his field goal percentage is his reluctance to shoot the ball altogether.
The corner for Wiggins, baseline, and threw it away.
In fact, at just under 11 attempts per game, Wiggins is currently shooting the ball the fewest times per game of his entire career. With some of the Golden State stars being less reliable on the offensive end, you'd think Wiggins would start to take on a larger role. I mean, this guy was the former #1 draft pick. He's averaged 20-plus points per game multiple times in his career. He's in his prime, but for some strange reason, Wiggins seems less involved with the offense than ever. It's crazy. Now, who knows exactly if this is Andrew's decision or the Warriors coaching staff prioritizing players like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Pojamski. I blame Andrew's lack of interest. But speaking of crazy,
Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be a flagrant.
Yep.
After assaulting not one, but two very large European players, Warrior star Draymond Green was suspended indefinitely. And that definitely has caused problems for the Warriors. Because even if you hate him, it's undeniable that Draymond Green is a crucial piece to the Golden State Warriors franchise. Watch this play the Warriors ran against the Thunder a few weeks ago. Draymond fakes the handoff to Curry, and the Thunder buy it. He rolls into the lane, Lou Dort rotates over, perfect lob to Gary Payton. Just some brilliant decision-making and ball movement all built around Draymond Green. And that's just the first clip I could find. This dude's whole career is littered with dimes like this. Whether it's rocketing passes to open shooters on the wings or dishing out picture-perfect bounce passes. Draymond Green's playmaking is a huge component to the Warriors' offensive success. And defensively, he may be even more important. Sure, his steals and block rates are slightly down after 15 games, but Draymond still provides the Warriors with the much-needed defensive versatility and even more specifically, toughness that they need. Going into the season, the Warriors had the shortest average height of any NBA roster. And after losing Draymond Green, they've gotten even shorter and softer. So yes, the Warriors of old may have revolutionized basketball with their unique small ball style, but by the looks of it, those days are over. Without toughness, freak athleticism, or sheer size, it's especially hard to get points in the paint in today's league. And as of today, the Warriors have scored the fewest points in the paint thus far this season. Then on the rebounding side, the Warriors have ranked third in total rebounds per game. But in the last few games, they dropped to one of the worst rebounding teams in the entire NBA. And now I know what you're thinking. Isn't Draymond's suspension already over with? Won't the Warriors just get better once he returns? Well, maybe, but this doesn't solve the underlying issues. Like, are the Warriors really sure that they can keep this ship afloat much longer? And do they even want to? I mean, Draymond's antics have cost the team a lot in the past. And every time it looks like Draymond has learned his lesson, he goes and does something even more reckless. This recent suspension has caused unnecessary panic and turmoil in the franchise. It's put more pressure on the veterans. The young players have lost trust, and for the first time in years, it feels like the Warriors might be forced to do something drastic. Unless this man takes over. At 35 years old, Steph Curry is still playing some of the best basketball I've ever seen. He's currently averaging 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists on 62.7% true shooting. On any given night, he's capable of delivering jaw-dropping moments like this one from just a couple weeks ago. With the slippage in production and accountability amongst the Warriors core, we're coming dangerously close to having Steph Curry miss out on the postseason entirely, effectively wasting what could be one of Curry's last years of utter greatness. And that's just something the NBA can't have. So it's time to talk about the only thing that matters when it comes to the future of the Golden State Warriors. And that's doing whatever makes Steph Curry happy. Steph is one of the few stars in the league that has earned the right to control his franchise and get what he wants. LeBron has done this with recruiting Anthony Davis. Giannis has done this with keeping his brother on the Bucks. Now, what about Steph? To be honest, I have no clue what Steph Curry truly values at this point in his career. Does he want more championships? Probably. But would he be willing to trade away Draymond Green and Klay Thompson to get them? That part's harder to predict. But for now, let's pretend everything's on the table and look at a couple different paths that the Warriors could take to keep Steph Curry from leaving the Bay. Path number 1, the last dance. This path would include keeping the Warriors' core nucleus together and selling high on just about everything else. With Chris Paul out, they could probably ship him to a younger team for 1 or 2 more serviceable players. And I wouldn't be surprised if a reclamation project Andrew Wiggins couldn't yield a decent return for the Warriors as well. This way, the team could go all in on getting their 5th title with their core guys together, before watching each of them sail off into the sunset one by one. Path number 2, the Oppenheimer, aka blow it all up. Now this is the most chaotic of the Warriors' choices. In this option, they'd likely trade Klay and Dre to interested teams, and the GM Mike Dunleavy goes to work building out a roster of talented role players who do nothing but support Steph Curry. Weirdly enough, rapper Cameron had great insight on the severity of this route, and why former GM Bob Myers might have jumped ship to avoid this disaster.
I think that's why they general manager left last year, because he don't want to be in that position.
Tough call.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga like, man, this
that's
is
good, Cam.
Yeah,
you on your shit, boy.
Yeah,
that's good.
I think Draymond's erratic behavior has forced Curry and the Golden State Warriors into a decision they've been avoiding for years now. Do the core guys stick together? Or do we let the Warriors GM break the team up? Ultimately, I think the choice is up to Steph Curry. Okay, so the NBA trade deadline is February 8th, and though the Warriors definitely have options, it is imperative that they make a move at the deadline that ensures the long-term success of the team, as well as the happiness of Steph Curry. Because a talent like Steph only comes around once in a generation, and we all deserve to see more performances like these.
Gathers it in, clock at 3, Curry 3!
Oh, there's the mean!
What a shot!
Comes out left wing, behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul, and he knocked out.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!